It's one of the biggest debates sweeping our nation: how to handle illegal immigration. And now the topic is taking center stage in many of our city council meetings.
In the first 50 days of the Trump administration, ICE has made more than 30,000 enforcement arrests, and we've seen many of them happening right here along our Gulf Coast. It was an emotional night tonight as Fort Myers City Council decided whether to allow city police to help with those deportations.
Gulf Coast News reporter Madison Adams joins us tonight with more from
Fort Myers City Council has a long history of working with FMPD. Tonight, Chief Jason Fields walked into this meeting expecting this to pass. Despite all of this, it failed with a 3-3 vote, even though the city attorney warned council members that they could risk losing federal and state funding if they didn't pass this.
It is a tumultuous day and age, and this is a day I hate sitting in the seat, but my city's not for sale.
Last night, you had the Fort Myers City Council in your own district vote to prohibit Fort Myers from police from helping with ICE agents because they said it would harm the immigrant community. I mean, what's going on with all of this?
Well, first and foremost, President Trump is delivering on the mandate he received from the American people, which is deporting criminal aliens, preparing to send people back to their home countries, deporting other illegal aliens, because what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris did was a flagrant violation of federal law, and we cannot house more than 10 million illegals in the United States, period, point blank. Number two, you got this federal judge who wants to take it upon himself to decide that he knows more than the American people, than Congress, because the law is actually clear congressionally when it comes to illegal immigration. And he wants to say he knows more than the Supreme Court, which back in 2014 gave the President of the United States plenary power when it comes to immigration and deportation procedures. And then you have council members in the city of Fort Myers who think they know more than the president, the Congress, the governor of Florida, and the state legislature, which just passed legislation that allowed for police officers to essentially be deputized by ICE in order to assist with the deportation proceedings of illegal aliens. These officials that don't understand their role, which is to implement federal and state law, not circumvent and create sanctuary cities, they simply need to be removed from office if they're not going to follow the law. It's that simple.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about another topic that is a prime example of how cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs insane the Democrat Party has become. Now, this story takes place out in Fort Myers, Florida, as you have these woke city council members. They're going to break down, boohoo, whine, and cry in tears after being forced to vote on a measure that would allow local police to work with ICE in order to train some officers to be able to deal with arresting illegal immigrants, okay? And apparently these woke city council members are really upset about having to make this decision that I think is a common sense shut and close decision, right? Yes, you allow the police to work with ICE to deport and arrest illegals, right? I think that that is what this city should allow, right? That is best for the American people. But, you know, it seems as if Democrats, they care more about the illegals, okay, and their well-being than the American people. And they're also concerned about the illegals and the prospect of them facing racism, okay, as a result of their interactions with the police. Also, on top of that, they're concerned about losing federal money, right? So basically, they were faced with, okay, do we allow police to work with ICE, which would increase the possibility of the poor illegal immigrants and the criminals facing racism from the police, right? Or do we not allow the police to work with ICE, and we're going to lose federal funds, right? So apparently, again, that was a really hard decision for these individuals to make.
Fort Myers City Council members had to choose whether to allow some FMPD officers to be trained by ICE in order to enforce immigration laws. Chief Fields argued that this is necessary for handling situations involving illegal immigrants.
This is not to develop a task force or team to out and actively seek out illegal immigrants. It's training officers so that when an officer comes in contact with someone who's violating law, and now they determine that they're illegal. Right now, they have to wait on ICE, and ICE can't respond. So these officers will be trained as ICE officers.
He brought up recent cases where he says this training could have helped.
We did have a homicide recently where a body was dismembered. Didn't we have a sexual assault in which the suspect was?
Fields ultimately failed to convince the entire council.
So how are we going to make sure that we're not racially profiling people?
It's the federal government's fault that we're in this position. And they're putting it on us again. They need to make legal immigration smoother. And that way they wouldn't have illegal immigration.
Me, as coming from a people that was tormented over 400 years, I can feel how they're feeling about this. And I just don't feel comfortable with this policy.
More than 20 residents, many attending their first council meeting, spoke against the measure, and their voices played a key role in the outcome. In Fort Myers, Madison Adams, Gulf Coast News.
Yeah, so ultimately, the measure failed with a 3-3 vote, right? So it was a split vote because, again, as you guys just heard, you had woke revolutionaries on the city council that were concerned about racism, hate, and bigotry, right? They don't want the illegals to go through what black people went through 400 years ago, right? That is the rationale, okay? We're voting lunatics into office. I don't understand. But anyways, let's continue our reaction at these woke city council people boo-hoo-wine and crying over having to vote on this.
Thank you for what you said. Thank you for your comments. I cannot begin to imagine how difficult this is for you. The argument, and I know there's no malintent to it, that we would risk federal or state funding if I don't sign up for this. It is a tumultuous day and age. And this is a day I hate sitting in the seat. But my city's not for sale.
Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Giraldo.
Council. Person, thank you for your words and thank you. Person Burke, I can't. I sit here to represent my city, but my city is not just all of us sitting here. It's the people that live here. To support you, Chief, to support the intent of the city. I can't stand behind this as an immigrant, the only immigrant sitting in this council. Because although this isn't about me particularly, I have been in that position. And I can't. This has, I can't even express how heavy this is in my heart and in my mind, knowing that the majority of us that come as immigrants, we don't come here to commit crimes. Of course, there are crimes out there, people that commit crimes, and everybody that commits a crime needs to be accountable for it, regardless if they're illegal or not. But this notion that all immigrants have a motive and we are chased after, it's just something I just can't.
So if I can just add once again, this is not a memorandum to create a group of officers to go out there and kick in doors and actively seek out immigrants. It's a process that allows officers who come in contact with people violating the laws, people creating or committing crimes that also happen to be a illegal alien and have a warrant, a civil warrant for that purpose. This is allowing our police officers, our police department to do a better job. It's not what it's portrayed to be. And with that, if there's no other comments.
One more comment.
Yes,
it's quite obvious we're going to get a 3-3 vote here. And I'd like to say that we table this for the workshop and vet it out, but maybe your police department can bring it forward and we can understand the issues better. So I would, if the councilman would like to amend that to push it to a workshop.
Wow. You can't make this up, guys. This is the United States of America, right? Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable, okay? yes, Democrats have progressed off of a cliff. They believe that all illegals, okay, who come into this country should be able to come in legally, right? And this is why they're so upset, because they see the deportation of illegal immigrants, at least those who haven't committed crimes. But who knows? These people also support the ones who have committed crimes as well too, right? So they support all the criminals, right? They see them as, well, they rightfully belong here, right? They can just come over here, they can just stay. It is so mean, it's so cruel to send them back, right? And to me, it's mind-boggling. It really is. This should have been 6-0. This should have been unanimous. Everybody agrees, yeah, allow police officers to be trained by ICE so that they know how to handle illegal immigrants that are committing crimes that they come across on the street, right? It just makes the system better, okay? It keeps people safe. It protects communities, children, girls, women. But, hey, apparently none of that matters more so than the feelings of the illegal immigrants to these Democrats. And they're over here boohoo, whining, crying. They're boohoo, whining, crying over common sense. That police officer, they just want common sense, right? He's proposing, hey, let's do this. This is common sense. And common sense makes the Democrats break down in tears. They break down in tears. Again, this is embarrassing, but like I said, this is what the Democrats believe. Democrats are showing you that they are an extreme party. So, when they come out here and try to pretend like they're not that extreme, right? Which at this point, they might give up on that, right? Considering how the Democrats are basically going to become the blue tea party, right? So it seems. But regardless, I'm just saying, when they come out here and they pretend as if they are moderate on illegal immigration, again, just remember stories like this. This is how they really feel, okay? I've never seen Democrats shed a tear for anybody that's not a criminal, okay, or an illegal immigrant, which, again, illegal immigrants are criminals. But anyways, I've never seen Democrats shed tears like that for law-abiding citizens, right? Never seen it, right? They didn't shed tears like that for Laken Riley, okay? They didn't shed tears like that for any of the victims of heinous crimes from illegal immigrants, right? They couldn't even stand in Congress to recognize that, hey, these are victims and that they should be, honored, right? They couldn't even do that. But yet, again, at the local level, they're boohoo, whining, crying over some illegal immigrant criminals being deported, right? Or having police officers work with ICE, okay, to be trained to handle illegal immigrants, right? To enforce our laws. That's what they're crying about. It shows you where their priorities are, right? And it's not with the American people. The American people always last for the Democrats. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.